guys, welcome back to Calling the Shots with Kiki
and Sarah.
And we, believe it or not, are getting close to the Super Bowl.
Yes, we are. The countdown is on.
I mean, I guess now it feels like it because we know what teams are going to be in the
Yes,
Super Bowl.
the matchup is set.
Niners, Chiefs.
Yes.
Last week we told you guys about the conspiracy theory about the Super Bowl logo.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't listen last week's or if you forgot, the theory was that the colors on the logo will be the colors that are in the Super Bowl. So there was theories it was going to be Ravens, Niners, because those were the colors on there. And it had been like that for the past 2 years. Here is another conspiracy. Are you ready?
Yes.
I think it was meant to be Niners, Ravens.
Until Taylor Swift happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
I 100%
and that's
think so.
That was the other conspiracy theory this whole season, which we didn't mention, but like everyone's like the refs, we've talked about the refs favor the Chiefs, and that has been a thing. And so I feel like that took over more so than the other theory.
Same.
So
when Taylor Swift gets involved, things change.
Sorry, I felt like it was far away from.
We have our mics on a table. If you're watching on YouTube, you know. If you're not, you don't. And when, anyway, sometimes the table falls when we're just moving around afterwards.
Yes.
And it did, and our mics got messed up. But
yeah, sorry. So I'm just like, have been adjusting mine this whole time, trying to figure out the right place for it.
All good.
Anyways,
we'll get into more football in a second because we're going to talk just about the fun parts of this past weekend's matchups, which were like really fun. I feel like everyone was invested in these games.
Yeah.
And we're also going to talk about some of the best Super Bowl halftime performances, which was
because there's a few of them.
There's a few, and we're just going to like, you know, some honorable mentions. We'll cover all our bases. Don't worry. But first, how are you doing, Sarah?
You know, I'm good. Just we could have talked before this, but just kind of chaotic, you know?
Why did I ask?
You know,
I'm just kidding.
It's okay. But I'm doing good. Just, you know, trying to figure out like fully my role now that I'm full-time and what that means.
And you're kind of in this phase of working like full-time with KSL and still doing some Pac-12 stuff. Yeah. So life is hectic.
So I'm like not gonna have a day off for who knows how long, but like a full day off. Because so it's okay. But we're just making that money. That's all I'm thinking about is the paycheck. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been kind of chaotic. How have you been? Because I feel like we're in very similar mindsets right now.
You know when you just like can feel someone's energy and it's similar? Yeah. That's you and I today.
I walked in today and I like, even honestly, it made me feel a little better because I was like, we're on the same page.
We're in this together.
Yeah.
No, things are so good. But like, just super exhausting. Media week lasted the entire week through Saturday. And then because you spend all week doing that, then there's other work stuff you need to catch up on, you know, so everything's good. It's just like a lot. Yeah. Like same with you. So that's that.
Hey, I feel it. Also, I watched for work. I like listened to a lot of the interviews, at least from the Royals.
Amazing.
And so it was like, I'm excited.
It's so, so I've said this before, but the National Women's Soccer League team, the Utah Royals, are coming back to Utah. Yeah. And it was really fun and exciting because I love RSL. Like, I know those guys, obviously. Like, those are my guys. This is my team, whatever. But it's so exciting to have just, like, literally a new team. Yeah. Like, a whole bunch of new players that, like, it was fun to just chat with them and have fun. Oh my gosh, I did something really embarrassing actually during media day. I have to tell you about this. So sometimes, I don't know what's wrong with me. Sometimes my brain is like too tired to function, right? Yeah. So this was like a week prior. I was at my boyfriend's family dinner and his niece was like, my birthday's in September. And I was like, oh my gosh, my birthday's in September too. And everybody's listening to this conversation. And I'm like, what day is your birthday? And she's like 4. And I'm like, she was like, it's September 14th. What day? And everyone's like, Kiki, what day is yours? I go, September 13th. which is not my birthday. I don't know why. My boyfriend looked at me and he was like, what are you saying? And I was like, I don't know. My birthday's September 23rd. I'm 10 days off. I don't know why I said that. Like, my brain just, like, could not function. But it was, like, everyone was just laughing. And it was, like, really funny. But I was like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, are you okay?
Literally.
Everyone's concerned.
Everyone's concerned, as they should be. And then
the 4-year-old's like, she doesn't know her own birthday.
Literally, she knows her birthday and I don't. Cool.
Yeah.
And then, I was talking to my boyfriend about it and I was like, yeah, one time, like, I was like, I feel like I've had a few of these in life that I'm just like, what? Like, one time I was meeting my friend's boyfriend and instead of saying like, hi, I'm Kiki, I was like, hi, I'm Keela, which is my friend's name. Like, I don't know why I would introduce, who forgets their name? Like, I don't know what was happening, but it wasn't good. So I'm telling this to my work friends as we're like waiting for Royals players to come in for media day and they're like, Key, what is going on with you? And I'm like, I don't even know, okay? But then a player comes in and we're about to do like an interview and I'm like, there's like a few of us in there and I'm standing next to my friend who's our videographer, Luis. And I'm like, hi, my name is Kiki. And then I turn to Luis and I'm like, and this is Kiki. So what we'll be doing today? And they're like, what are you saying? Like the player was like, your name is Kiki and his name is Kiki. And I was like, did I say that? Like I did not even register that I said that. And my other friend was they were just like dying laughing because I literally just told them that I did that. So anyways, that's where I'm at.
Yep. I feel that. I get it. Yeah. You know, I don't know why. At work today, we were talking about Vegas, super random, but because the Super Bowl, Super Bowl, so it's not very random. But we were talking about Vegas, and they were like, Sarah, like, what do you think of Vegas? And I was like, you know, not my favorite place. They're like, well, have you been a lot? And I was like, too much.
That's the problem.
And so we've talked about before. Me and Kiki would go down there for the West Coast Conference tournament. Yeah, every year for a lot of years,
and it was like. Stressful and traumatizing.
Yeah, you got to see all the cool things, but after like 1 or 2 years, it's like, okay, we've seen all the cool things.
We've done all the cool things. We've done it on no sleep for so many years.
I talked about the year that it was just me and you because of COVID, and that like we needed to protect ourselves. And do you remember this? And I brought like something with me to protect us.
Yeah.
And they were like, I went into detail, but I won't here. But like,
yeah.
They were like, Sarah. And I was like, it was just 2 girls with a lot of expensive equipment walking around Vegas.
Guys, where we stayed in Vegas also, it was honestly really close to the new Raiders stadium.
Yeah.
But like nothing was there yet.
Yeah.
Like it was a hotel and then like construction.
Yeah.
And I do remember we were walking like, we needed like energy drinks. We were so tired. We're walking to like a gas station.
Yeah.
And it was sketchy. But that was...
So anyways, they were like, wow, Sarah, I didn't know you had that in you. But I'm like, I'm not going to just walk around like it not having something to protect myself.
I just feel like we need to say like it wasn't a gun or anything
crazy.
No, it
wasn't anything crazy, but like, yes. Anyways. I wasn't strapped,
the bare minimum to help us out.
It was the bare minimum, but they were just like, oh my, Sarah. And I was
so funny.
They were being kind of dramatic about it, but now like, they're just like, okay, so no one messed with Sarah. We know that now.
Listen, I love that reputation.
Yeah.
No, that's just so funny.
But anyways, I just had to tell you that story.
That's hilarious. Oh, man, I haven't. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've been back to Vegas since. You went once, didn't you?
Yeah, I went
for a bachelorette
party. And it was, like, fine. But, like, I still had that, like, anxious, stressed feeling.
Yeah.
Because I also was planning, I was part of planning the bachelorette party.
Oh, so, yeah.
So that was stressful. And then just, like, those are the feelings I associate with Vegas now, which is kind of unfortunate. But also, like, I'm not, like, too pressed about not going to Vegas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So I've been that time.
Yeah,
I've been enough.
Totally. I wish I was going for the Super Bowl. My roommate is going for the Super Bowl.
No way.
Yeah, her dad has some connection or something. So in our like roommate group chat, someone was like, "Hey, can I use like the living room for a Super Bowl watch party?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, I'm not using it. Everyone's like, "I'm not." Like, have so much fun, whatever. And then one of my roommates was like, "I'll actually be in Vegas, so yeah, I'm not." And I was like,
"Wait, yeah, back up. Sorry, huh?"
In all caps, "Are you going to the Super Bowl?" So yeah, she's going, and I'm literally so jealous. Isn't that
insane? I'm excited, but also we were talking about it today at work. Like, people are talking about how the traffic and like parking and everything's going to be pretty bad because apparently they're doing construction a few of like the crosswalk things, like from Tropicana crosses, and it's not done. And it might not be done.
You would think they'd plan for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And so they're talking about how like it might be kind of a nightmare in that situation. So hopefully it's okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
now to the teams that are going to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So we know the Chiefs are going. They beat the Ravens. Let's be clear. Pretty much everyone that's not a Taylor Swift fan was rooting for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because there's like, you've seen this, I'm sure, but there's like maps of the United States and they'll be like, which states are
watching or rooting
for who.
Yeah.
And it was like 99% of America rooting for the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
But I saw another one that was like in 2018 or 2019 maybe, where it was the same like NFC championship game.
Yeah.
Or was it AFC? I can't remember. But it was a championship game to determine who goes to the Super Bowl. And it was Patriots, Chiefs. And it was like all Chiefs, no Patriots. And then it's like compares it to years later where it's all Ravens. Like no Chiefs.
Yeah.
And it compared it with the quote that was like, "You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain." And I was dead.
Yeah, wow.
That's real.
That's true.
So that just, I feel like, gives you some insight to how people were feeling
going into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, I think I sent this to you, but Patrick Mahomes' dad was wearing like the sickest Letterman jacket. Did you see this?
It looked so sick.
Yeah. And he was like, it basically had a bunch of, said Kansas City versus everybody on it.
Yeah.
And then a few other things just on the shoulders and things like that. It was just super sick. And I was like, everyone's like upped their, I feel like they're like game day fits.
Totally.
Like not necessarily players, but I'm saying like outside of the players, people are like upping their game day fits.
Yeah. The friends, the fam, the wags.
I feel like it's becoming more of a trend for sure.
Me too. My one thought when I did see that is like, I feel like even though the Chiefs maybe haven't been like as dominant this year, like nobody's doubting a team that's been to the Super Bowl 4 of the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And I just know they're going to have that narrative again. And I know they had it last year.
Yeah.
They were like, everybody doubted us. And I feel like the fact that they didn't win as much this year, they're really going to have it. But I'm like, guys, you may not have been as good. So maybe you got a little more hate, but truthfully.
Not compared to.
Yeah, like nobody's actually, you're not like the Cowboys.
Yeah, This is true.
So anyways, I was just thinking that when I saw the versus everybody. But during warm-ups, this was interesting to me.
Did you also see his response afterwards?
Yeah. Well, we had to tell the people the things.
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Yeah. So, but first, they, for context, kickers usually line up on a lot of the times, line up on the opposing team's sideline, and they start their kicks there, and then they scoot back because, like, hello, you gotta, like, get the range going.
Yeah.
So Justin Tucker is the Ravens kicker, and he puts his stuff down, and
stuff as in, like, his helmet, like a water bottle, some other
literally
like,
the stand that like holds the ball for him to kick on. So he puts that stuff down, and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes like get up and start moving. They like move it, but like kind of like throwing it. Like it was giving bullying vibes.
Yeah, it was giving like the disrespect kind of vibe.
And I get trash talk is a very real thing.
Yeah,
I totally get that. However, this is a kicker.
Yeah.
Let's
Chill out.
Let's just acknowledge the fact that most kickers aren't talking that much trash. Super weird.
Yeah.
To be beefing with a kicker.
Yeah.
Also, everybody, like, loves this kicker.
Yeah. And it just feels entitlement to me. Like, yes. Oh, like, I need to be in this exact spot. Like, you need to move.
Yeah, there's so many other ways to do it. And also, like, I just am like, the game hasn't even started.
Yeah.
This is not, like, again, it's like I said, it was kicker and whatever. But that was, like, the feeling I got. Was I was just like, don't make me not like you, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Yeah, it was interesting. Afterwards, he didn't seem like, he didn't take it, like, too personally. He was like, it wasn't.
The kicker.
Yeah, the kicker. Sorry. He was like, apparently they asked him, he mentioned how, like, they asked him, hey, like, do you mind moving your stuff? And he goes, yeah, I moved it, but apparently it wasn't far enough because that's when they, like, started throwing it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm just like, it's whatever. There's a lot of pressure on the day. I don't really care. Like, I'm okay moving on. But if, like, they seem like they're taking it, like, a little more personally than I am.
Yeah, he seemed pretty chill about it, which I feel like just attests to the fact that, like, he's a
kicker.
Yeah, he's a kicker. He's a chill dude.
Yeah.
I think the things he said following it, like, it is what it is. Like, they asked me to move it. I thought I moved it enough. I guess not. But hey, whatever.
What are you going to do?
What you going to do? To me, I'm like, that just shows he's super chill.
Yeah.
And they aren't.
Yeah, they're super uptight.
Yeah, I was like, I like him more after that.
Yeah. Respect.
So that did happen leading up to the game.
And then, obviously, the Chiefs won.
Yeah.
And, of course, Taylor Swift was there. They showed her a lot. But the moment after when they won and she was down on the field with Travis Kelce was just, like, super cute. Genuinely, she was so excited.
Yeah, she did look so excited.
And, like, was just so proud of him. Mm-hmm. And, like, they shared a little kiss. Like, it was so cute. And, like, yeah, I feel like those who say it's fake, I'm like, it's kind of, you gotta be a really good actress.
Yeah.
To, like, fake how that looked. I don't know.
I just don't doubt, I don't doubt they're milking it.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. And maybe it was, like, somewhat strategized or whatever, but I'm like, I feel like they're also actually vibing.
Yeah.
Like, this is...
It's like that story where, like, there's, like, it's all for show and then they fall in love, actually.
True.
You know?
Whoa. This could be a movie.
Yeah, it really could.
I actually kind of like that plot more.
Like, it was brought to them to be like, this will help both of you guys, even though, like, you don't really need it, Taylor.
Yeah.
But, like, it can open you to a whole new market. And
we'll pay you a lot of money or whatever.
You a lot of money.
And then they
actually are like, wait, we like each other. You know?
Oh my gosh.
That'd be a cute
This is
a
Hallmark movie.
It really is. Or, like,
I love... This is my new take.
Do you remember Starstruck?
Yes. On Disney Channel?
Yeah, it's giving kind of that vibe.
Wow. I can't even get into describing
I didn't even
plot.
really think about that until just now. Like, it dawned on me, like, oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah, the way you explained it is perfect.
Yeah.
My brain was not going fast enough to get there. Thank you for taking me there.
I got you.
Because that is it.
Yeah.
That's my new theory.
Our new conspiracy theory.
It was cool, like, because I understand there's a lot of people who are like, we show Taylor Swift too much. What about the other wives and girlfriends? Like, we never saw Giselle this much, you know? However, I did really like that when she was on the field, there was a moment where Jason went up to her and she, like, was standing there and then she just, like, left. Like, and it, to me, and, like, what other people said was kind of like she realized, like, this isn't my moment. This is their moment. I'm just gonna, like,
step out
and let all the focus be on them, because you know what it would have been is, like, Taylor Swift, like, says, oh, watching Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce have their brother moment. So, like, I did like that she really did that. Yeah. I wanted to say that
Very respectful.
Agreed.
Also following this.
Oh, yeah.
I thought this was wild. So obviously the craze is real for Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. But it's so real that, like, airlines are now creating themed flight numbers for the Super Bowl. So, American Airlines. So, if you don't know, Taylor Swift's birth year is 1989. Mm-hmm. Travis Kelce's number is 87. Gonna preface that. American Airlines has made flights from Kansas City to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl and has named them Flight 1989. And then flights back to Kansas City from Las Vegas after the Super Bowl are now Flight 87.
Yeah. Guys, it's insane.
Which, like, how much... Have you ever seen that happen?
Never seen it happen. That's what I was going to say.
No.
This reminded me of something else. Have you heard... You know what? Let me take you through this. I'm at Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
This does go along with this, I swear.
All right.
With flights to the Super Bowl, okay?
Yeah.
I'm at Chick-fil-A, and when our windows down and their windows down as they're, like, prepping food.
Yeah.
And I hear someone say, like, okay, yeah, but it's a super long flight from Japan to Vegas.
Gosh. Yeah.
And this is happening, and they're talking about this, and they're like, but she could make it in time if yada yada. And I turn to my boyfriend and I go, oh my gosh, they know someone going to the Super Bowl from Japan. And he was like, it's Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it really?
Yeah.
I should have recorded this. 30 seconds later, they put Taylor Swift on in Chick-fil-A, and these workers are singing Taylor Swift.
Oh my gosh.
It was killing me. And then I go on my phone, and the very first post on my feed is how Taylor Swift can make it from her show in Japan to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's crazy. People are crunching the numbers because,
seriously,
like, literally the night before, it's, like, complicated because of time zones and, like, the time change, but, like, the night before, she's literally going to be performing in Japan and has to, but, like, if she gets on a certain flight and leaves at a certain time, she could make it in time for the Super Bowl, which is crazy.
That's crazy. We'll see if she's there.
Yeah.
I feel like 100% she's going to be there. The
NFL made this happen so she could be there.
Yeah.
Imagine if she was doing the Super Bowl halftime show.
I know, right?
Could you imagine?
This would have been the year.
This would have been the year. But it's okay.
They did
also,
miss that.
have you seen the prop bet about... Sorry, this is the last thing. But the prop bet about if, like, you can bet to see if Travis is going to propose to her after the Super Bowl.
Shut up.
Have you seen this?
That would be too much.
There's, like, a legitimate prop bet about it, though.
Before this game happened, I was like, I kind of wanted to be, I wanted to be Ravens-Niners. I just think it'd be a fun matchup.
Same.
And my friend at work was like, you don't want a Super Bowl baby? I was like, what are you talking about? Like, Taylor Swift's not pregnant. And they're like, she's like, no. But they could conceive a child on that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, I cannot right now.
Too much. We're going too far, guys.
This is too much. I'm scared.
Anyways, the other game. As we already said, the Niners are the other team. They beat the Lions.
My Niners.
Yes.
And it was stressful.
Roller coaster of emotions.
Truly did not look good for us in the first half.
Yeah. It was 24-7.
Yep.
Lions were up 24 to the Niners 7 going into the half.
And I was just not feeling very good. But then...
Yeah. Neither was my husband. But it's okay.
Exactly.
Everyone was on pins and needles.
Stressed.
If you were a Niners fan.
But which wasn't a lot of people, actually. A lot of people wanted the Lions to win, but don't talk to me if that's you. Okay, anyways. I'm totally kidding. We're gonna be friends.
But they did come back to win 34-31. But again, pregame fits, okay? George freaking Kittle.
We've talked about, guys, I keep telling you, like, the wives and girlfriends of the 49ers
are it.
We should be so grateful, honestly, that we have women of this caliber in the Super Bowl. I kid you not. Like,
okay.
It has never been like this.
So anyways, George Kittle's
proof of this. George
100%.
Kittle walks in with a graphic t-shirt of his wife, Claire.
Yeah, a bunch of different pictures of her, and then her name plastered across, like, the top in, like, a cool font.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just him repping his woman.
So I would like to ask you, did I tell you I made my boyfriend a shirt of me like this?
Love that. No, I've been thinking about doing one for Tiger. I also want to make one of our cats because I just think it's
so funny. Tell him not to listen to this episode. It's got to be a surprise.
Yeah.
I'm a huge supporter of these types of shirts.
And again, I think this goes back to the statement, in a world of Simone Biles' husbands, be George Kittle.
Straight up.
You know?
No. 100%.
Like, I don't understand why it's that hard.
The standard has been set.
Yeah. And this is who he needs to start looking at.
Straight up.
Anyways.
We can't even go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, we love it. And then on top of that, as usual,
Kristen Juszczyk
killed it. And she even, like, low-key manifested a win here.
Yeah, so in her iconic jacket, everything she wears is iconic, okay?
Yeah.
Because everything she makes is iconic.
Yeah.
But she had, like, it inside her sleeve, it said Super Bowl bound.
Yeah, on both of them.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. Because she made a puffer jacket like she has been.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay. She knew. She was confident. Maybe that first half she might have not been.
Straight up, she'd be like, okay, well, I'm not showing anyone the insides of my sleeves. But she also, like, got a deal with the NFL. So it's been kind of interesting where people have started to comment on this where they're like, she's taking NFL gear, Nike gear, and remaking it and getting a lot of publicity and, like, making money off of doing this type of thing. And so people have kind of been wondering, like, is the NFL gonna come for her? Because, like, they could.
Yeah.
And while the NFL is the no fun league, like, they would be so hated if they did this.
Yeah.
So they did the right thing. And they basically said, like, we give you permission to make stuff.
They made a licensing deal with her.
They made a licensing deal. What they really need to do is sell her stuff themselves.
Yeah.
But one step at a time.
Yeah, okay? We'll get there. Another funny thing that happened, it's super random.
Well, no, it's just good vibes all around.
Yeah, but there was one iconic catch. There's a lot that happened. But
Brandon
Ayuk, he's a wide receiver for the Niners.
This was so crazy,
caught
you guys.
A crazy ball that was thrown and tipped and then bounced off of a Lions player's face mask and he caught it.
Yeah.
Like at like the 2-yard line. And that led to a touchdown. It was like wild. And
it bounced off this player's face mask that was like on the ground.
Yeah, it's like as he was falling. And like, what are the odds, you know?
100. Yeah.
And he caught it, and it was great. Everyone went crazy. Honestly, it was a big like momentum like shift. I feel like
it really was.
And when he was asked about it after the game, I quote. So he was asked like, "Tell us like, walk us through that play. Like, what were you thinking? You know?" And he goes, "Before the game, I had a ladybug land on my shoe, and y'all know what that means."
Yeah.
Like, what?
Ladybugs are good luck.
Yeah, they're good luck, but like...
I know. I literally loved this. I thought this was so sentimental, too. The top comment on, like, one of the ESPN or some type of post about this was a woman being like, so my dad was a huge Niners fan. Yeah. And he, like, had a thing about ladybugs being good luck.
Cute.
She's like, and he, like, passed away. And so, like, for me, I'm, like, become a Niners fan because of him. And so when I heard that, I was just like, this has to do, like, my dad's here. This has to do with my dad. I thought that was so special, too. Yeah. To take it from one end of being weird and funny to, like, a totally different, sentimental, tender one. But, like, that was cool to me.
Very cute.
It goes down in the comments, guys.
Yeah,
check
it
the
really
comments
does.
on posts.
It really does, honestly.
So, yeah, now we have our Super Bowl matchup.
Super exciting.
And it's super exciting. And we already talked about the amazing women of the Super Bowl, obviously. But we are going to highlight a different woman who's the first woman that is going to appear in the NBA All-Star, in an NBA All-Star Challenge. So we had talked about Sabrina Ionescu and how she... Did I say her last name right?
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
good.
Yeah, you killed it.
The way sometimes, like, I hear it, but when I look at it, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, there was a clip going around of Steph Curry talking about, like, have you seen her and her three-pointers? Like, it's crazy. He's like, I think I need to challenge her to competition. Yeah. And he was mic'd up. So this got clipped off, posted everywhere. She responded and was like,
say less.
Yeah, like, I'm about it. Yeah. So, now it's going to be part of the NBA All-Star, like, challenges, weekend. Which they do. Yeah, part of the weekend. And it's pretty cool because the haters out there were like, okay, but is she gonna shoot from the WNBA 3-point line? Because if you didn't know, there is a difference in the 3-point lines.
The distance is a little bit different.
She's not. She's like, no, I'm doing it from the NBA line. Yeah.
Which, so good for her.
Go off, Sabrina.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
Honestly, even if, like, she doesn't win it, like, the fact that she's there is great, you know?
100%. So I did see some people, again, in the comments that were like, honestly, I kind of want her to win this just so we get more stuff like this happening. Yeah. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
So, listen, even if you don't tune in for the game, whenever it is, that's what you're going to want to tune in for.
Tune in for that, for sure.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was really cool. But now we're going to get into our Super Bowl halftime performances. The best of the best. Also just ones that Sarah and I remember because we're not that old.
Yeah, we're not that old. I also, again, didn't grow up watching the Super Bowl that much.
Yeah.
And so
we converted to Super Bowlism later in life.
A lot of it is very recent for me. So, like, there's a few, like, special honorable mentions that we'll mention, but, like, we haven't personally experienced.
Yeah.
Like, live.
Totally.
So, but I think the first one, you obviously have to...
This is my favorite.
Yeah. Is Rihanna.
It's last year. Don't tell me recency bias. She was the first female billionaire to perform. She's the first one to announce a pregnancy while she's performing.
Yeah.
It was much needed Rihanna content.
Yeah, that was the other thing. She hadn't performed in so long.
Yeah.
That everyone was just, it didn't matter if she hadn't come out with new music. It didn't matter. She's Rihanna. And we were all stoked. And it went crazy. People even now do, like, their own versions of it because her fit was iconic and her dancers were like...
The choreography was phenomenal.
Yeah.
There was one point where somehow they were, like, on these floating stages.
Platforms. She was even on one of them.
Yes.
As a pregnant woman.
Yes.
Which is crazy. But, like...
Amazing. How?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
So, for me, that's, like, top of the top.
Yeah. It's peak.
Yes. Another great one...
This is like the first one besides Rihanna. This is the next one that comes to my brain.
Which is why it's written down next.
Yeah.
So 2016 for this one, it's Coldplay, Bruno Mars, and Beyonce.
Yeah.
To me, also, I remember this one too, and I was like, what a mashup.
Yeah. Iconic.
Like,
Coldplay to go out there and be like, we're going to invite them.
Yeah, because it was technically their halftime show, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was. And then they went out and invited Beyonce and Bruno Mars, who kind of took over the show.
Yeah, for me, they did.
Yeah, I think for everyone. And they performed, back then it was their new hits, Uptown Funk and Formation. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Like,
so...
And then there was, like, a showdown between their dance groups. It was just, like... iconic. It's what the Super Bowl halftime show should be. Yeah. Like, when I think that, that's what I think of, you know, because there is so much going on. The stage setup and the performances by all around was great. There was, like, not a dull moment.
It's really, like, it has to be a full performance.
Yeah.
And I feel like they just put on such a good show.
Yeah. For sure.
That's a big one for sure. Very next year, Lady Gaga. Leave it to Lady Gaga to be as extra as humanly possible, okay? Yeah. So if you watch this, there's things you probably can't forget about it.
Yeah. It was wild. She literally started the show on the top of the stadium singing a mashup of God Bless America and This Land Is Your Land. I'm sorry.
Pretty cool. I don't feel like you see that a lot in halftime shows.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why it, like, immediately grabs your attention. And then she proceeds to cascade down from the top of the stadium onto a stage, like on a cord, like in a harness, which
again,
I'm sorry.
She's Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
That's what she's gonna do.
It's true. Yeah. And so, she sang a bunch of her iconic songs, Poker Face, Born This Way, Bad Romance.
Other ones. And then she exited in just the most wild
extra
way.
Yeah.
Like we said, extra. So she mic dropped, literally. And then she, like, caught a football and just
all of a sudden, like, jumped off the stage into, like, nothing. She was gone.
She was gone.
Yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
And I specifically remember people were like up in arms about her costume. Do you remember this? Because like
not really,
she had a little bit of like a belly and it was poking out the top of her shorts.
I do you remember that.
Oh my gosh. I remember like people are straight up like body shaming her from it.
No.
And like she came out and it was like, wear what you want to wear. Like everyone's bodies are different. And like, I don't know. It was just, I feel like that's when I saw a lot of not the start, but a lot more conversation about like being body positive.
Yeah, where it's
and things like that. Also, she's not like overweight in any way. She just like doesn't have perfectly toned abs. Sorry.
Well,
like she just cascaded down from the heavens. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, different things are gonna fit people different.
This is true.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just be fine with it.
Yeah, I vividly remember that and being like, what? And then, like, she came out with a statement. It was, like, a whole thing.
Yeah.
But Lady Gaga kept it classy and she, like, killed it, so.
She did. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Give me another one, Sarah.
Okay. The next one was also, like, iconic for hip-hop. So in 2022, it was a list of people. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem. And then they also had surprise guests from 50 Cent and Anderson .Paak, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyways.
But they all had performances. There was like Dr. Dre's iconic performance of him sitting at the piano playing Still Dre. Snoop Dogg rapping with Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar's performance of All Right. It was just like a mashup of like the most iconic people singing the most iconic songs.
I had the most fun during this performance.
Yeah.
I think there's been so many different halftime shows that I love.
Yeah.
But this one, I was like
invested.
So invested. Like,
yeah.
Rihanna, I was invested, like, whoa, oh my gosh. Oh, can you believe she did that? But this one, I was like bouncing up and down the whole time. Like, I was like, I need to go back and listen to this.
Yeah.
It was the best rap hip hop mashup ever. And I just feel like a lot of times people are like, hip hop and rap don't really perform well.
Yeah.
Because it's not like pop where it's like flashy and whatever.
Yeah.
And they just proved that it can be done so well.
Mary J. Blige, her fit, iconic.
I forgot about that.
The boots, I'm sorry. That's what I remember. I was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
She like killed it. But also, it was like that great when it was the first Super Bowl halftime show to ever win a top program Emmy of Outstanding Variety Special, like live special, which is just like, that just proves it right there. Like if you needed more proof, there you go. They won a freaking Emmy.
Yeah. Our next one is going to 2020. This was J-Lo and Shakira. I'll be honest, I have some mixed feelings about this one. Because I love that they were the first Latina duo to ever do a halftime.
Yes.
And I love them individually. And I love them together.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like
controversy after this.
There was a lot of controversy about this. I loved like that Shakira included like some Colombian dances.
Yeah.
Just more like cultural type of dances, which was really cool. The thing that was controversial for a lot of people was just J-Lo pole dancing, basically. Yeah. I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember how this even...
It was kind of like a foreshadowing her new movie that was coming out.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Hustlers, I think.
Yeah.
Which is about strippers.
Yeah.
So I think it was alluding to that, if I remember correctly. But, like, people were up in arms being like, this is supposed to be, like, a family event.
And
she was, like, dressed very, like...
Provocatively.
And then dancing on a pole.
Yeah.
And so some people were like, well, she's, like, embracing her femininity. Totally. And, like, she's... how old and can look like that and move like that, like, which we should all celebrate.
We all think is great. Which is great, clear.
But also, yeah, it did.
For me personally, I was just like, I would, if I had like little children watching, I would have been like, I didn't know this is what
it was going to be.
Maybe play your video games.
Yeah, let's go get some snacks.
It ended really fun though.
Yeah,
because they did like they did Let's Get Loud and Born in the USA at the end, right?
Yeah.
So that to me was so sick. And also, A-Rod and J-Lo aren't married anymore, which this makes a little less fun, but it was really funny at the time because A-Rod was like in the crowd of dancers on the field taking selfie videos of him like dancing, and that was so funny to me.
Yeah.
So
random.
You know, that was a really fun side note.
It's try I agree. I just feel like it was one that like
it was
you have to bring up
100%.
Even though it was controversial.
Like we said, it was, to me, what I loved was that it was historic because it was two Latinas. That's like super sick.
For sure. All right, this one I don't remember. I remember seeing clips of, but like I wasn't watching the Super Bowl at this time. But just listen to this lineup. It was Madonna with MIA, Nicki Minaj, LMFAO, and CeeLo Green.
So
in 2012.
Anytime there's a mashup like that.
Also, I think we need to preface, this was 2012. So this is like peak of all of those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is just like, are you kidding me?
That's true.
You know? Because like nowadays you'll be like, okay, so. But like back then, I feel like this was like a big deal.
This was a huge deal. Yeah, no, I'm literally like, Sarah did her research on this one. This is actually crazy because it included collaborations with Cirque du Soleil.
Yes.
Choreographer Jamie King as music director. And multimedia
multimedia show producer
Moment Factory.
Yeah.
The show became critically acclaimed, setting a Super Bowl halftime show record at the time of 114 million viewers.
Which was more than the game itself.
So I feel like that just speaks to the caliber of these names.
Yeah. Also, not to mention, Madonna became the first solo female headliner since Diana Ross, in 1996.
Yeah.
So like it was like a big deal for women. It was a big deal for like the performance and everything surrounding it. It just was like wild. I don't know. Crazy. So, good for them.
And those are like the real ones we wanted to get into. I'm just going to run through some other iconic things I feel like we had to touch on because we're talking about Super Bowl performances.
Yeah.
Katy Perry, she did a performance where she had like people dressed up as like sharks and palm trees.
Yeah.
And the shark to the left became like a meme in and of itself.
I forgot about that.
I know. Isn't that funny? So to me, I'm just like, that's a moment in pop culture history. Yeah. And then in 2001, this was another one where I was like, what type of collab is this?
Yeah.
Like Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige. Sometimes I struggle with the last name, so sorry. And Nelly.
Which,
like what
a mashup.
So it's pretty crazy. Like you guys should go watch this one because it goes into like it's like Aerosmith doing this like super intense, like dramatic performance, and now I have other songs stuck in my head. You know when you have a song stuck in your head, you can't get a new one stuck in your head?
Yeah.
It goes from them straight to like bye bye bye. Like it is like so like it's just like
the switch up.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So that in and of itself is crazy. And then I was just like curious on some other ones that I wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
Which takes me back to 2007, Prince. This is some people's like all-time favorite of all favorites.
It was like the top of a lot of lists I saw.
Yeah. So first of all, if you haven't seen it, like I definitely go and watch this one. My personal favorite part of this, which was a lot of people's favorite parts, is he ended with like a very emotional rendition of Purple Rain.
Yeah.
And it started raining during it, which was just...
Can't make that up.
You cannot. And that was at... I don't know if it's rained... I don't know if it's rained since during the halftime show, but that was the first time it ever rained during a halftime show.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself was just...
iconic.
Just so crazy.
Yeah.
And I think it was really cool too, because like that was still somewhat early into doing like halftime performances. So it was all about like Prince himself and just going wild on the guitar.
Yeah.
Anyways, That one was really cool. Beyonce and Destiny's Child in 2013 is another iconic one because it was like a reunion for them. Yeah. And they did all the mashups. Also, Beyonce just knows how to put on a show.
Yes, we all know that, yeah. Queen Bee.
Yes. And then last honorable mention is Michael Jackson, 1993, because this was the first, like, true Super Bowl halftime performance.
Yeah.
That wasn't just a band.
Yeah. So wild.
Literally. He didn't go, like, into all of his, like, enormous catalog of music, but he did do some really cool ones, like We Are the World with a children's choir, and then he did Heal the World. And he did, like, Billie Jean, and of course, like, he had to do his moonwalk. It was really cool, though, because it was iconic. There was, for one of them, I think, like, which one was it? I think it was Heal the World or We Are the World. Maybe it was a mashup of both. Everyone in the stands, like, held up a piece of paper, and it was, like, children, like, around the world. So it looked really cool. Hard to explain. But shout out to Michael Jackson for being the one to start it all. Yeah. Like.
And who better to do so than
truly him. Iconic that it was Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Like, NFL really, really hit it off with that one.
Yeah. Know? So we forgot to mention that this year's Usher. We mentioned this before, but we will see.
I hope that he brings out other iconic, like, R&B singers from that time as well. I really hope he does that thing where he surprises with guests, similar to, like, the one with Dr. Dre. You know, like, make it more than just about you. I really hope he does that because, like we mentioned, Usher.
A lot of the, like, iconic ones we just listed were with other people.
Yeah, they're groups, for sure.
And love Usher, but, like, he's not at his peak right now.
Yeah. And and maybe he doesn't get someone at their peak, but, like, if he brought in the nostalgia of it
100%.
And brought in, like, Akon or, like, Chris Brown or, like, literally some other people, I feel like it would be wild.
Think about the hip-hop one. That one wasn't people at their peak, but it was iconic.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Anyways.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to see.
We'll see.
We'll see together how we feel about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we have on Calling
the Shots.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Rate, review, and that's it.
Bye.
See you next time.